Typhoon Saola closing in on Hong Kong. A very powerful typhoon is about to make its closest pass or potentially a landfall in Hong Kong. Still a Category 3 with high-end winds of 125 miles per hour, 22.1 north, 114.7 degrees east right now. As of 6 p.m. local time this September 1st, as mentioned, winds of 200 kilometers per hour sustained, with an estimated pressure of 939 millibars, moving nearly due west at 10 miles per hour, 16 kilometers per hour. The storm's still looking pretty good on satellite, although it is starting to weaken by the looks of things, and that's expected to expedite later on tonight. But as of right now, it has a wind field there extending up to 100 nautical miles in the northeastern quadrant, which means that some very large populations are now experiencing tropical storm force winds. A red typhoon warning is in effect for Shanwei, Longgang, Shenzhen and Zhuhai. In Hong Kong and Macau there are Signal 8 warnings currently in effect, and they're expecting to raise to 9 later. It is just 65 kilometers from Hong Kong, 87 from Shenzhen, 122 from Macau, 146 from Dongguan and 191 from Guangzhou. Yellow typhoon warning in effect for Guangzhou as well at this point, and extending as far west as Yangyang. Dangerous winds of up to 120 miles per hour are possible along the southern coast of China, Hong Kong and Macau this evening. Saola is also expected to produce a substantial storm surge and inundate the Pearl River Delta with up to 300 millimeters of rainfall. So storm surge could be a considerable threat for any coastal areas there, and we could see some significant inundations. Here's the forecast track over the next few days from the GEFS ensembles, and it takes the storm just south of the coast of China, probably not actually a landfall there, and then it meanders around Hainan and weakens to below tropical storm strength by the end of the weekend, and hovers around there for quite a while, probably as a remnant low. Dissipates by the time we get to Thursday. JTWC's forecast cone is there on the left hand side, and it has a somewhat similar scenario, with it dying off by the time we get to day 5. Our estimate is in line with the Japanese Meteorological Agency. JTWC still quite a bit higher at 140 miles per hour, and satellite estimates are still hovering around that amount as well, but it does appear to be weakening quite a bit at this point, but not enough to avoid major impacts along that southern coast. Hong Kong Observatory's graphic here showing over a 90% chance of tropical storm conditions for Hong Kong, and around 80 to 90% for the surrounding cities, and in Guangzhou only around a half chance there. It's a very fine margin with those wind probabilities continuing westwards. Here's the GFS forecast over the next 7 days, forecasting the storm to make that very close pass, and then actually moving further inland than what the ensembles are saying, so the parent model taking it further inland there before it dies off quite quickly in that case as a remnant low, but probably a typhoon landfall if that does occur. It's a fine margin whether it will be a landfall or whether it will skim the coast and just continue on towards the west-southwest. You could also see Typhoon Haikui on the right hand side as well, impacting Taiwan, and now forecasted to do a loop around there according to that same model. Reflectivity simulation here shows that a lot of rainfall will be occurring in the area, and quite possibly a double hit there from Haikui afterwards, which might dump even more rainfall over the southeastern coast of Guangdong province. But certainly very heavy amounts of rain over the southern region there, and extending inland if that storm does indeed track inland, but still a question mark over whether that happens. Rainfall estimates then, according to the model, we're probably expecting close to 10 inches of rain, probably with the highest amounts just to the west of the Pearl River Delta. We're expecting maximums of 10 inches, 250 millimeters, but higher amounts could fall offshore, and in the worst case scenario that might transfer inland a little bit. But in general, 10 inches the ceiling. In Hong Kong, probably around 6 or 7 inches, getting up above 150 millimeters, and in Macau, maybe 8 inches, 200 millimeters or higher. Look further towards the east there, and some significant rainfall amounts as well. And if Haikui does do that stalling motion, 35 inches of rain falling over there, and over 25 inches in Taiwan. That's over 500 millimeters, 600. Sea surface temperatures are looking very good still ahead of the storm. They're still around 28 to 29 degrees Celsius, probably maybe pushing close to 30 degrees in a few spots, although sea surface temperatures are slightly cooler along the coastline than they are out over the open water. Nonetheless, decent conditions which may have helped this storm keep its intensity for so long. Let's take a look at the satellite imagery once again, and it's really fantastic appearance as it draws ever closer to Hong Kong, and it looks like it might be making a southwestward jog there, which might just make it avoid a landfall. It's hard to tell as we look at all of this satellite imagery in the failing light now as it gets later into the evening, but a very impressive, powerful storm barreling its way towards those very large urban conurbations. You can see all of this satellite imagery live on the Force 13 website, force13.com/satellite. The eye is shrinking and shriveling up, and it may completely fall apart within the next few hours, but certainly we'll be seeing some strong winds along the coast of southern China, along Hong Kong, and in the Pearl River Delta region. Extremely heavy rainfall, and looking at that eye structure, that inner eye, still holding on just for a little bit longer with some extreme conditions on that western side. Incoming Typhoon Saola.